This is crazy. All right, Nick, you've been looking at this. You've been looking at all the models and everything. Do you think it's going to be a tropical storm when it hits California?
I think because it wound up so much, right, that it became so strong that it has a lot of unwinding to do. I think it's very possible. However, if the storm makes landfall south of the California and Mexico border, then it'll be technically considered a Mexico landfall and not a landfall. So if that were to be the case, this would not go in the books as a landfalling tropical storm in California.
Even if the impacts are just as significant as what we're expecting.
Right, you have tropical storm conditions, but that landfall point is the official landfall. So Southern California or parts of Baja California. So that in the shape of the coastline and the orientation of the storm's path, again, makes all the difference. So overall, though, the storm is going to be tracking over a lot of cold water. So the storm is going to weaken quite a bit before it gets here, especially with the wind. But when I say weaken, don't mistake that for the lack of flooding. The flooding is going to stay a concern regardless of where it makes landfall or of its intensity. Hurricane Hilary, latest advisory, calling it still a Category 4 hurricane. It did peak in intensity early this morning. It had winds at one point 145 miles per hour. Hurricane hunters are getting ready to fly into the storm again to sample the core. But overall, the storm is going to continue tracking well to the north. That's where we have tropical storm watches in place for Los Angeles, San Diego, Palm Springs. You don't see that very often. Hurricane watches down to the south across parts of Baja California. But I want to show you the forecast track because as we get into the day tomorrow, we're still looking at a hurricane on our hands. It'll be moving into cooler water. So the storm is going to lose its steam quickly and then track to the north. And that cone is showing the storm center, but the impact is going to be well outside of that cone. So in orange, that's your hurricane. Yellow is tropical storm force winds. And as of right now, hurricane force winds only extend about 50 miles from the center. Watch how the hurricane force winds kind of collapse, and you're left with tropical storm force winds with higher gusts in those valleys. You get the tunneling effect. But this is going to be really known for its rainfall, the copious amounts of rain in Southern California. There's a high risk, as you see there in pink right there for Palm Springs. It does include Death Valley. I would not want to be at Death Valley National Park on Sunday with all of this rainfall. And by Monday, the rain's going to extend to the north. So we may see some localized flash flooding across parts of the southern Sierra as that band of rain continues pushing toward the north. So at this point, you have this hurricane. It's going to transition to a non-tropical system by around Monday's time frame. When you start to see that happen, you have moisture that peels to the north. The storm starts to acquire fronts. And I think by Sunday night, some of the steadiest rain, certainly the most significant impacts to the south and east of our area. The valley staying dry for most of Sunday. But I think by Monday, into the morning and daytime, we'll see some showers wrapping around on the backside. So parts of the Sierra picking up about an inch or two of rainfall, especially along and south of Tahoe. I'm going at about a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of rain on Monday for the valley. But by the way, only 2/100ths of an inch of rain is the average monthly rain in Sacramento. Hunter?
Nick, thanks so much.